Hello YouTube, this is Joe Waters here, and I'm bringing you a Graffiti on the Train by Stereophonics album review. Now I was listening to this morning, right? It's obviously been released today, and I've been listening to it this morning, and it's a pretty solid release, I've got to say. There are a couple of things I would like to say. First of all, it for all those that are hoping for like the storming rock albums of like Word Gets Around, I forget what the second one's called. I think it's Performance and Cocktails. Yeah, those days are clearly in the past now, and obviously Language, Sex, Violence, Other had those sort of tracks as well. It's very clear just listening to that those days are in the past, you know. I mean, they do have a couple of more rock and rolly tracks, like the track Catacomb, which is just a dirty, gritty, very 80s rock and roll sounding album. But for the rest of the album, it kind of gives me this sort of comforting sound slash pushing the senses era feeder, really, for anyone who's familiar with those two names. And I'll start with the tracks. So I've got them written down on my phone here because I obviously take notes before I'm doing reviews, because I want it to sound I want to do them good. Right. So the opening track then, which I believe is called "We All Share the Same Sun." That track very much gives me the sort of comforting sound feeder feel to it. And it's a soaring opener, and it's one that will definitely, I think, in my opinion, hook you in. Then you've got the second track, which is obviously Graffiti on a Train, and to me, that track just has a raw, savage, haunting beauty to it, especially when you get to the instrumental in the middle. It just sounds... It's one of those tracks that will leave the hairs on your neck standing. It did that for me as well. And then you've got, obviously, Indian Summer, which everyone knows. And at the intro, it gave me a sort of have a nice day feel to it. But then it just became... I don't know, it grew into itself, really, when the chorus came in. And I think, to anyone listening to it, you will find yourself humming along or singing along, maybe even belting out the chorus. Sometimes you might not even realise you're doing it. It's one of those that you just want to belt out, really. But then you get to the next track, which very much, and I will say this for quite a lot of the instrumental passages on the album, gives me a very sort of Pink Floyd, maybe Dark Side of the Moon era feel as well. So it definitely feels like they are pulling out a great variety of influences here. But especially track 4, which I think I'll just get the name on my iPod now, just so I don't sound like a complete and utter tard, which is called Take Me, and obviously the female vocals help to the Dark Side of the Moon era Pink Floyd. But other than that, it's just I love it. That's all I can say. And again, it's another really good instrumental passage that I really enjoyed. And then, obviously, the other standout track for me was Violins and Tambourines, which at the beginning, it doesn't really do much at the beginning, but it does develop into an epic crescendo, which does, and Stereophonics do pull it off, in my opinion. And I think, yeah. I definitely think, though, as far as live favourites are going to go, I think Catacomb very much feels, which is the rockier track again, I think that's going to be a real crowd pleaser for that one. And then, obviously, we come to the album closer, which is No One's Perfect. And it's quite a slow track, really, but I think it does the job of... sorry, I've got my aunt's dog right next to me, begging me for attention, but... No, it does the right thing of closing the album. And again, a sort of Pink Floyd feel to it, maybe, but... I don't know. I would rate the album 8 out of 10. The reason it loses a couple of marks, doesn't get the full 10, is just it does feel like there are one or two filler tracks in there, but even so, for those of you who are disappointed that it's not the storming rock albums of the past, that's not the right way to look at it, because from what I'm hearing right now, it's nothing more or less than a band who are in their prime and that are loving what they're doing. So, yeah, 8 out of 10 for that album. It is a really good listen, and that's all I have to say on it now. But thank you for watching my Graffiti on a Train review. Like I said, 8 out of 10. And also, a great variety of influence as well. And I think anyone who enjoys middle-of-the-road alternative rock music, I think you will enjoy this. But I enjoy all sorts of music, obviously, but... It's an album I enjoyed listening to, and I hope you will too. Thank you for watching. I hope this review has been helpful to anyone who is considering this album or has listened to it and not quite sure what to make of it. But yeah, I hope this review has been helpful. Thank you for watching, YouTube. Goodbye.